I am Chisom, a level 1 yada in the UK. I used to be terrified, morbidly terrified of having children because I believed, based on what was in my society, is that you could raise children, do the best you could, and those children will still derail and become wayward. So I would always wonder, hey, what if this happens to my children since I can't control it? Or that is God who raises children, the parents can do their best, but it's God who's going to do the rest, right? But since joining the Inner Circle Parenting group, those fears were dispelled. I could see that there were skills. Being a parent is predictable. There are skills that are needed. There are tools that you have that can help you be an effective parent. I started to understand the meaning of intentional parenting, and all my fears have been quenched. I am so grateful to Coach Wendy. Now I'm happy. I don't have kids yet. I'm preparing. I am ready for when they come. If you're outside the arc, if you're outside the Inner Circle Parenting, I implore you, join. Let your fears be dispelled. Let your fears be dispelled. Come and know what there's a how to parent. There's an intentional way to parent. Join the Inner Circle Parenting now. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Dr. Chisom Tadas. That was an Inner Circle parent sharing her journey, right? In that short video. Welcome here. Today's topic is one topic that you'd want to come here with your pen, your paper, and get seated. Please, let me see in the comment section whether you brought the person you are saving. We are very serious about this saving people this year. So if you brought that person you are saving this year, comment section, tell me who you brought. And you have not brought the person you're saving, sharp, go and bring the person that you are saving. So today is going to be one of those days that when you're done, you will just sit back and say, okay, where am I? What do I need to do? And then something in your parenting will take a turn, right? Thank you so much for joining me today. It is such an amazing time to be here every Tuesday. Somebody said, I brought my community. I love it. If you didn't bring your community, you're not here. You didn't bring someone you're saving, you're on your own. Now it's Operation Save Somebody on their parenting journey. I saw something recently that, troubled me with the way that we're raising children. I used to be very, if you want to learn, learn. If you don't want to learn, I beg. But, I realized that if we continue like this, even the children that we're raising intentionally will be at risk. So if you do not bring anybody you're going to save, go and do that now. So we're now going all out. So today I saw a video where a child was gifted a birthday gift of an iPhone 17 Pro Max, a 10-year-old. And then the mother says because she's been of good behavior, because she's been very obedient, because she has been passing her exams. It got me worried. The truth of the matter is that when I saw the comment section, I was jittered. I saw people saying, when you have the means, you can give your children whatever they want. I thought that the number of people who have saved have been plenty. We have not even started. And I mean millions of Nigerians, millions of people from all over the world shouting that, oh, it was okay. It doesn't really matter. Once the child have done what it is that they're supposed to do, it's okay that the child can have access to phone. I didn't have word. Somebody said, I brought my bestie. If they brought you to save you, bring another person to save another person. Because honestly speaking, we need to save the world. And it's not going to be only me doing the saving. Why screen time should never be a reward or a punishment. Somebody said, yes, since I'm no longer rewarding my children, I also punish them with it. Same everywhere. Now, using screen, and when I say screen, I mean TV, tablets, phones, anything that is screen. If you use it as a reward or as a punishment, It might seem very convenient. If you don't do your chores, Bakam, you will not watch TV today. If you pass your exams, you will watch TV the rest of your life. What you're doing is that you're doing more harm than good. And this class is about sharing with you how this is more harm than good. So whether the child is playing game or a child is learning, whatever it is that the child is doing on the screen time is screen time. Number one, the reason you should never do that is that it creates emotional dependency on screens. Emotional dependency. What happens emotionally? Now, when screen time is used as a reward, the child brain learns a dangerous association. Very dangerous. Love, approval, success equal to screen access. Now, instead of feeling proud after that effort, I did well, the pleasure comes from what follows the screen. So over time, the child stops asking, did I do my best? The child will start asking, do I get the phone? That's emotional dependency. Now, here is the science behind it. Now, it's called dopamine conditioning. Have you brought somebody to this class today? Now, screens trigger dopamine and the brain rewards chemical. Now, when you pair dopamine heavy activities, screen is a dopamine heavy activity. So when you pair a dopamine heavy activity with behavior, the brain prioritizes dopamine source, not the behavior. I'll break it down. This is the same learning loop that is used in gambling. Same learning loop that is used in social media design. So if you go and watch the documentary on how social media was curated, it was curated using dopamine conditioning. Go and study it. Go and do your research on it. Now, when you do research in neuroscience, it shows that the frequent external rewards will reduce the intrinsic motivation. That's, that's around that you see self-determination theory. Now, instead of building self-control, the brain learns I behave to get stimulation. Are you getting it? So the brain is not learning it is because I want to actually grow. I just behave so that I can get stimulation. Now, let me give you a real life example. A child cleans up only when promised screen time. At first, you see compliance. It skyrockets. You tell them you cannot use your tablet except you have finished your chores. You are winning. Something tells you, I've never seen it this good. Since I started telling my children that I would take away their screen, they've started behaving. Come closer. Dopamine conditioning. That's what you're doing to the brain. Now, compliance increases, but after a while, a child resists the task unless a screen is offered. Let me make it even simpler. You have a toddler who is 5, refuses to eat until the screen is in front of them. What do you think is happening? Dopamine conditioning. Now, that child melts down when the screen are not given. Now, what you give me becomes a default answer. So the brain is now outsourcing motivation. Yeah, you are outsourcing motivation to a device. That's the risk. Now, when screens are used as punishment on the other side, screens are part of modern life, work life, social connection, learning. When you remove them as punishment, the child doesn't learn responsibility. They begin to learn fear. I can lose access to what makes me feel okay. They're not responsible. If I do this and I lose access to the screen, it creates shame. I'm bad. That's why it's been taken. It creates resentment. You are controlling my happiness. Why do you have to take away the thing that makes me happy? Then the child begins to look at you. This my mother is wicked. This my father is wicked. Now, it activates what we call the cortisol, the stress response system, and not the learning center of the brain. So under stress, the prefrontal cortex, that's where self-regulation and reasoning happens, goes offline. So learning can't happen. So what's a long-term result? Instead of emotional regulation, your children will learn to escape discomfort with screen. Will you go to that place? You can say, no, I'd rather stay home. People brag about their children not going out. People brag about their children not wanting any form of social life. They just, stay indoors, play their games. Please run. We have a course called Creating a Social Roadmap for Your Gen Z. Being able to create the social GPS that we run in the Inner Circle. We just had it. I have a book called Raising the Social Genius. One of the things I shared is that, you see, this escape of discomfort with screen is a mess. They hide mistakes to protect access. When, screen is unlimited, they are anxious. That's why your children become screen obsessed. They become emotionally dysregulated without device. So if you want to have peace, you bring tablets. Something very hard. Explosion when screens are removed. It's not just about spoiling a child. It's because they are conditioned. Somebody say, these are spoiled children. No, they are just conditioned. What are you supposed to do? Screen should be scheduled. You don't use it as a reward, as a punishment. Screens are not earned. You don't earn screens. Now you have finished your chores. You cleaned everywhere. Wow, bravo. You can watch TV all through the day. And that's what parents do. Go to school, make good grades. During holiday, you can have free access. Unlimited. No media plan, nothing. That's why when you get into the Inner Circle, one of the first things you do is to create a media plan. Unscheduled screen will make a mess of your children. Never you do that. Unscheduled screen. Behavior is addressed with conversation, repair, natural consequences, not screen. Just give me that tablet now. What does that mean? Your children need to learn that they are responsible because they are capable, not because they are chasing a reward. That's how you raise children who can function with or without the screens. Very important. Number 2, it confuses motivation. Rewards and punishment teach external motivation. Now, I do this to get a phone instead of internal motivation. I do this because it's right. So they are not doing it about being right or wrong. So a child cleans their room quickly just so that they can earn screen time. So you've made screen time something to earn. How are they earning it? Is it a reward? So if your parenting needs screen to work, it's not discipline, it's dependent. You must learn emotional intelligence to raise capable children. If your parenting needs screens to work, it is not discipline, it is dependence. You must learn emotional intelligence to raise capable children. Control creates compliance. Emotional intelligence creates character. That's why nobody can tell me that there is any parent who does not need emotional intelligence. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Every single parent needed to be able to parent intentionally and parent well. If you want result, that's the only way out. That's the only way out. So let me share with you the science behind motivation. Now, if you read about the self-determination theory, you see that healthy motivation grows from autonomy. Now, autonomy means I choose to do this. That's autonomy. Competent, I can do this well. Relatedness, this matters to my relationship. Can you see? Autonomy, competence, relatedness. So when you introduce external rewards like screen time, the brain begins to outsource motivation to the reward. And studies show that extrinsic reward can reduce intrinsic motivation, especially for tasks that should become habits and values. So instead of building discipline, you begin to build dependence. Now, the clean your room example. Clean your room. A child cleans quickly. The parent feels effective. What's missing? No ownership, no pride, no internal standard. The child is not thinking, I like my space clean. So they are not doing it because they like their space clean. The child is not thinking, I want, to actually be in a space that has the clutter. They are thinking, I want the screen. When the screen is removed, behavior disappears, resistance increases, power struggle begins. Because the reason for the behavior was never internalized. Now, this is what this looks like long term. Your children are raised on reward-based motivation. Most of them struggle with delayed gratification. They can't wait. Have you seen it in this generation or not? Are we not day by day raising more children who cannot delay gratification? Isn't that what's happening? Our children can no longer wait. These children struggle with avoiding tasks that they have to immediately. So if there's no immediate payoff, they can't do it. These days, we are constantly now seeing employers. You employ someone, they resume today, the next day they are off. They can't stay. We have a staying problem. Because we want Jehovah sharp result. sharp result. And some adults are actually, going through same thing. It's not just about children. Check your own life. Sometimes you've actually gone through that process and it's you. They feel entitled to rewards for basic responsibilities. It's same thing when you pay a child for doing a chore. A contributory factor of being a member of a community, you get paid for it. Who pays you for being a parent? Who pays you for giving birth? Who pays you for paying school fees? Nobody. Nobody pays you for doing that. Because children are no longer taught to, be part of contributory, factors. It's no longer there. So you ask a child, will you do this? How much will you pay me? That's why things say, why should I do it if there's nothing in it for me? Now, that's the belief. It didn't start in adolescence. It was trained early. Now, if you take it to the other part, now, punishment also confuses motivation as well. So when screens are removed as punishment, because, take out screen. Children think, well, I got caught, and, that's it. If I don't get caught, so therefore, I can find a way. Let me tell you what happened to us watching porn growing up. As much as all of us want to pretend, every single one of us wanted to watch it. Why? Because there was something that was about it, that was created around it, that made us, want to see it as something. So it was removed in a way that we didn't even explain, understand what it was about. So our restriction was that if you get caught, you're gone. Not that you were morally upright. Think about it. So if your father comes home and sees the cassette logged into that VHS, that's the end of you. Did you really understand it? No. The moment you became an adult, you started to watch porn and then masturbation gets in. Even those people who claimed to be virgins, in quotes, we know the stories. And you too know the story. Did you really learn? Did you really learn why that virginity, quote, was a thing? You didn't learn. So once you could get access to pornography, you watched it. Nobody told you that pornography takes away your soul. Nobody says that to you. You don't get it. And yet we come out and we say to ourselves, but we turned out okay. We didn't do those things. Are you sure? And unfortunately for us, what we have today is that our children even have more dangerous access. So that hiding, that trying to put the blue film somewhere made you more curious to watch it. So scarcity, they created scarcity and made it a trophy at the same time. So you wanted it. That's how the brain works. Are you there? Now, children now begin to struggle. So the child does not think, I made a poor choice. No, they don't. When you remove the screen, no, they don't. They just think I got caught. So compliance without understanding. Avoidance instead of responsibility. So fear instead of moral reasoning. So your children are not really reasoning morally. So fear may stop that behavior temporarily, but you never built character. So that's what happened to you. You didn't build character. You still watched the porn when you got access. So that is why today I'm dealing with parents who have watched porn for 20 years. What are you talking about? What does that tell you? 30 years. Some started watching porn as soon as they entered secondary school, they could gain access. What does that tell you? You didn't learn. Teaching didn't happen. That's what tells you. Because, that's how it works. Now, if The emotional intelligence becomes an alternative. Instead of asking, how do I make my child comply? You begin to ask, how do I help my child own this behavior? That's a shift practically. So you link action to natural consequences. You ask reflective questions. How did that choice make you affect others? How? You begin to celebrate effort and responsibility, not reward. Why are you rewarding your child for coming first in class? That's another conversation for another day. Lack of responsibility. Of course, what you should celebrate is the effort and the responsibility. So children learn discipline when they feel they are capable. We all grew up like that. If you come out of the class, they buy you bicycle, they buy you. My grandmother used to kill chicken for the people that came first. After then, what did you learn? Did you really become a learner? Did you really become a scholar? Did you really become studious? No, you just passed exams. Because there was rewards. I'm not saying that rewards are bad. No. I'm just saying that there are things you don't use as rewards. Because when you do, it sends the wrong message. So your child needs to learn, I'm capable, I'm trusted, I'm accountable. That's the real motivation. Mistakenly went to another. So sorry about that. I mistakenly changed my network. Now, screens are meant to be tools of learning, right? Tools for relaxation or even creativity. They are not tools for emotional currency. The problem is that we've made it tools for emotional currency. So when you reward or you punish with screen, it teaches children to see them as good or bad. Screen is not good or bad. It's just part of life. It's neutral. Now, the core problem is that screen can be put for a regulated life or it can be an emotional bargaining pitch. So when you reward or punish with screen, you blur their meaning. So the child is no longer understanding what screens are for. So they don't get it. So when screens are used as reward, the children learn screen are special, screens are powerful, and screens are emotionally loaded. Can you see? When screens are used as punishment, the children learn screens are dangerous, things that can be taken away when I mess up. So the screen becomes symbol of power, source of emotional relief, and object of control, not neutral tools. See, a screen should be neutral. It is what you feed it with. That's what it should become. That's what it should become. So this is why it confuses the brain. I like to break it down. And I hope that my medical science background is not heaping on you with plenty things. I think I'm breaking it down well. Now, the brain thrives on clear categorization. That's how the brain thrives. When something is sometimes good, something is sometimes bad, something is sometimes earned, something is sometimes withheld in anger, it becomes psychologically charged. Now, this is called inconsistent reinforcement. And research shows that this increases obsession, anxiety, fixation, emotional reactivity. So the child doesn't relax around screen. They preoccupy about them. Are you getting me? Oh Lord. There's a part of this, this whole scenario I'm going to be, sharing at Becoming an Emotionally Intelligent Parent course, where we are linking up these things, these two. Now, a child hears screen help you learn. Screen helps you relax. No, screen because, a child, change screen because you are rude. You're not supposed to watch screen. Now, the unspoken message becomes screens control how I feel and how safe I am. So when a child is bored, is sad, is angry, is stressed, their brain reaches to a thing that can, have been framed as emotionally powerful, which is the screen. Now, they are not curious. It's just conditioning. Now, children raised with screen as emotional currency struggle to self-regulate without the devices. But value screen time, compared to other activities. They argue intensely about limits. You feel them, they feel dysregulated when access changes. Not because screen is an evil thing. Screen is not evil. It is what you have made it, to look like. That's why it looks that way. But because meaning was attached incorrectly. Incorrectly. You need to begin to reframe what screen should be. Screen should be scheduled. Screen should be purpose driven. Screen should be predictable. Once you have unpredictability around screen time, you will make a mess. And what you're doing is that you are actually preoccupying. You are teaching your children to be preoccupied about them. And of course, that's a way of emotional load. And your child is saying, screens are powerful, they are loaded, they are, and all of that, and all of the things that they attach it with. Screen should not be earned. Screen should not be threatened with. Screen should never be tied to emotions. When screens are neutral, your child will learn, I enjoy this, and he still live well without it. That's what you're teaching, emotional maturity. And that's what emotional intelligence is about. Because that's what it is that you need to learn. There's a level of deregulation that I find that is really worrisome. So sometimes you step in and you see a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, 8-year-old on a tablet. And a child who would normally come to hug you will not. Some time ago, I was in, someone I know's house, and then I walk in, and then the child was on a tablet, and the child couldn't even stand up to greet properly. Why? Because that screen, there's an attachment. And it's that attachment that we're talking about. You see this, where you do something, you have this, no schedule, no purpose. One of the worst things to do with screen is make it purposeless. Make it purposeless. You can just watch cartoon. You can watch it. It's okay. Some of you don't even know what your children are watching. Do you know that the problem is not just content? The problem is the unpredictability, the unscheduledness, and even the purposelessness that is tied to it. So you've tied to earning, threats. You make screens so powerful that you threaten your children. Anything they do, no TV for 1 week. What was that? My children didn't watch TV during the week when they were in primary school. And because now they're in boarding, they come back. And of course, even that screen is very highly scheduled in my house. Now, you can't come to my house and you wake up in the morning and you put on the TV. I've never been able to connect to that. How do you guys do it? As in, you wake up in the morning, TV is one thing, one news, one, just like that. Sometimes you walk through all of the sitting rooms in my home and none of them is open. And we don't have TVs in the room. Come closer, let me tell you. You think that having television in your room is flex, Abi? Have I told you about the danger of having TV in your room? It's not about having money. That television in your children's room is killing their brain. Time will not permit me. I want to really teach this. Better come on Thursday. By the way, if you're not in the inner circle, get your 2 legs in. We are having the communication class on Thursday. It's an inner circle class. We decided to open it up for every single person who missed the inner circle this year. Get in and come and learn about communication. Parenting communication made easy. It's a 2 days course, and today I made an offer. You can get it for $8,999 only in 24 hours. If that offer goes off, that is it, and that's all, right? But the course is on Thursday. It's just a 2 days course. The EI course is in March. Start now. If I were you, who missed inner circle? In fact, everything they say, the books that we buy, the classes that we enter, everything. And if you're a yada, better bring the person you are going to save. If you brought the person you're supposed to save, get them in here. All right? So I'm going to just take a short break and return. I said that we're 738. There's no reason why we're not hitting 1,000. Inner circle webinars, we'll do 1,300. And that's inner circle, paid system. This is a free platform. I don't understand. Why are we not streaming on 2,000 in the minimum, by the way? So go and bring more people. Send link, get them in here, and take some water. while the team shows you this video, and then I return here.
When I was growing up, my parents would always say to me, be quiet before you get into trouble. Stop talking. Must you always talk? Your opinion does not matter. Go and sit down. And I actually honestly wish my parents had said to me, your voice matters. Speak. You are safe here. Because now I understand my voice shapes my confidence, the courage to speak up, stand firm in my belief, and believe in myself. And that has actually made me fearless, audacious, and more confident about myself. And to be honest, my parents are not the only ones who are guilty of this. Are you a parent? Come close. Now, you need to actually understand and learn how to speak to your children to actually strengthen their voice. You don't need to silence your children's voice because that builds the confidence to become who they are tomorrow. If you actually want to learn how to communicate better with your children, the best and easy way to go about it is to join the Parenting Communication Made Easy course. That way, you learn how to communicate with your children, how to build their confidence, how to build their courage instead of shutting it down. Just comment course in the comment section and we'll send you the details. Join the Parenting Communication Made Easy. That will be your game changer and build the children who will become their confident self tomorrow.
Alrighty, so join the Parenting Communication Made Easy, and the details of payment is right on my screen. Okay, team, please let's have this on my screen so that people can have access to it to be able to get in to pay for it. All right, so have you brought someone? Did you bring someone for this session? If you didn't, you need to go do that now. Team, can we have this on my screen, please? All right, don't worry. Thank you so much for being here. Somebody said, guys, a part of the reason was addiction to phone calls. Growing up, I was giving reward. Okay, I think this offer is only for today, by the way. All right, can we get a flyer, please? Somebody, okay, so for those who are commenting course in the comment section, I don't know how the team is going to be able to reach out to you on YouTube, but I guess that they will need to work that out. All right. Yeah, that's paying for parenting communication. If you ask me this question again, I know you're a backyarder. You come on a Tuesday live to ask me this kind of question if you're a yada. In fact, I have no words for you. None at all. I'm not saying anything to you. All right. Let's go. So I was talking about how come we didn't bring all the people that were saving now? What's going on? All right. We're still on 700 plus. Why are we there? Let's share with everyone. Let them get in. All right. Bring somebody and save your generation. Please, let us save. All of us need saving. We all need to save the people around us. Okay. Is there a way that, sorry. All right. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Somebody say, don't try. Yeah, don't try me. In fact, that person should be tagged. Tag yourself in the community. Let me come and give you small. You deserve it. All right, let's go. Number 4. One of the things that happens, all right, one of the things that happen is that it increases obsession. It increases obsession. Now, when you use screen as a leverage, you make children obsessed with it, even when they otherwise wouldn't care. I don't know if you have ever, found your child doing that. There are some children who don't really care. There are some children who don't really care about whether you got in or you didn't and all of that, or you watched or you didn't watch. Some children, it's neither here nor there for them. But the truth remains that by the time you begin to do that, it becomes an obsession. You don't want your children obsessing, even when it's not anything. Now, punishing by taking away screen will create nagging, we create behavioral issues, we create sneaking, we create tantrum. Why? Why exactly are we creating a system like that? There's no need for that. Now, let me break it down for you before we even, get on. Natural consequences will teach responsibility. Screen punishment will teach fear. So most of the times, your child is afraid just because of the consequence. Screen should never be a trophy, never be an emotional currency. Screen should be tools. I need everybody to write that in the comment section. Screen should be tools, not trophy, and never emotional currencies. Do not use screen as emotional. Never ever do that. Because I find people, saying to their children, oh, probably do that, it doesn't really matter. Sneaky behavior around screen is not about having a rebellious child. It's just your child responsive to scarcity and control. Now, when you withdraw screen, those things you do, you draw screen, you use screen to do this and all of that, and all of the things that, you try to do with it, you are creating two sides of the coin, control and scarcity. A child will respond to control and scarcity. Let me give you a very typical example that is not even about what we're sharing. Do you know that when you share with a child, right? When you share with a child that the child cannot eat something, let me ask a question. Who remembers, what happens? So you tell a child, you cannot eat meat in the pot. Most of the times you find out that the child actually goes to, there's something that, happens. They begin to sneak. So anytime people tell me my child stole my money, my child stole my food, my child took what I didn't tell them to take, some people don't have those issues. You know why? They didn't create scarcity and control. Somebody asked me a question one day. Why is it that the child went to take biscuit when they did not tell me? I told them they must tell me before they take it. Somewhere in your head, you think that you are actually raising a child who will be accountable. That's not how accountability is done. What you are doing is that the child will respond to that scarcity and that control. And they will respond to it by being sneaky. Are you guys getting this thing? Hey, God. He will respond to that scarcity and that control. Try it. I see people that say in our home, when we're growing up, people say, so then you can just go to your kitchen and just take food. I've seen many women who say their in-laws came to their house and then they took food from their pot. Let me not say anything. This is not Inner Circle. I wanted to say something, but I'm holding myself. This is not Inner Circle. But I want to ask you a simple question. What is it about? Think about it. It's about control. Now, any time that you actually create scarcity or create control, something breaks. Your child begins to become sneaky. So if your child is sneaky, picking things around, stealing, doing things that, sneaky, you're always catching, check yourself. Child, I should do a topic on this, but let me leave it. Check yourself. That sneaky behavior is a response to either scarcity or control. Are you getting the point? Can you guys understand it? You're getting the point. Great. So this is very important for you to note because people don't understand it. Parents will tell me, it's just like punishing a child for food. A child does something, you say the child will not have food to eat. That's why you see some people, they see food, their body is shaking. Have you seen people, they've made all the money in the world, they still go for an occasion, they are dragging for rice. It's a training problem now, it's a fundamental problem. It's actually a program problem. Their body was programmed. Somebody said we need a master class. We need a master class in the Inner Circle. I'm going to teach this in the Inner Circle this year. This sneaky behavior thing, where we have, the obsession, the control, and, so when you are punishing your children with screen, you are training obsession, not self-control. Let me say that again. When you punish your children with screen, You're training obsession. You're not training self-control. So if your child behaves only when a screen is offered, you're not teaching values. You're running transactions. Transaction, take, I take back, you take back. You know, one thing that I've learned when it comes to, parenting is that it's so easy for us to, want to just wake up, just, blame our children, just, do some stuff and just say, no, it's not us. The child is just not accountable. Somebody, I shared one day and I said to the parent, when said that the child went, picked time, her money, went to school. I said, did you ask the child when the child picked the money? He says, because the child said she wanted to buy something, that they don't have access to. And you created scarcity around it. The child is going to steal. There's a training required. My child will not come in and take something just like that and move out. No. But there's no scarcity, there's no control. Let me leave this. So when you use screen as reward, you don't build discipline. You build dependency. When you use screen as reward, you don't do discipline. You don't build discipline. You build dependency. So that's what you're doing. You're building dependency. We're entering into the month of punishment, discipline. There's a lot to teach in the inner circle in the month of February. That's why, please, inner circle parents, where your humility about that is going to be very long. And if you're not a yada, please register for this communication course on Thursday. It's going to help you to give you a head start, and also register for the emotional intelligence parent course. This course is 10,999. Emotional intelligence is 2,500 for now because it's changing in 2 days. Am I correct? It's changing in 2 days to 25,500. But you know the truth. This is money that when you spend it, you learn something in your life that you're grateful for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. That's the truth. So there are too many things that is wrong with our parenting. I won't even lie to you. That's a lot. And we need to actually we need to sit and, begin to look at the things that we have done and then begin to undo them. Right? Did you invite someone now? We're still 794. Why? We still didn't even cross the 794. Yadas, you guys are the ones that we drag now. Because you are the ones saving people with me. You shall save people. Now, let's let me break this part down so that I can quickly run before we put it down. Now, when something is restricted, when inconsistently given, here and there, when you use it as a reward or use it as a threat, the brain will mark it as scarce. Now, scarcity activates fixation. That's a well-established principle in behavioral psychology. The less predictable access is, the more the brain obsesses over it. Did you hear me? The less predictable access is, the more the brain obsesses over it. That's why I say that unpredictability is an evil in parenting. You do it to make a mess of your parenting. Because the more unpredictable you are, the more you are creating that obsession. So even when a child do not care much, they suddenly become preoccupied once the screen are used as control. Now, before screen became a leverage, children watched briefly and just moved on. NTA, TV will start at 4. When you see the TV now, so it starts at 4, so you just watch it briefly. You cuckoo know that it's not going to be on, because immediately it's 10 or 8 or something, your parents start to watch news. Those days we were forced to watch news and sit. So after screen now became a leverage, there became constant bargaining. Constant. Just 5 minutes more. Mommy, let me just watch it. And then you start shouting, there's TV. Hey, there's always nagging and negotiation. You are constantly negotiating. What exactly are you negotiating? Let me just, if you watch TV, I will give you, if you want your cartoon, pass your exams. If you don't do this, your exams are this. If you do well, you will do that. I don't negotiate with my children with media. Why? If you pass your exams, you can have a phone. Why? Your phone usage age is 18 in my house. Whether you pass exam, don't pass exam now. I don't understand. Fail the exam if you can. By all means, I use it to write my books. Failure as a tool in parenting. Sell it safe. My children know my mantra. Why are you nagging? Why are you negotiation? It's because you don't have a structure to work with. So my children and I do not negotiate whether they should be on social media. It doesn't happen. They've never been on social media. It's not a conversation. Why? There's a structure. There's no room for that. So you're not nagging, right? You're not nagging. You're not, doing, hey, you want to do this. Hey. No. There's no need for that. Now there's emotional outburst. When it's an access is threatened, you put on TV everywhere. People are squeezing their faces. I don't understand. Maka, why? It's television, for crying out loud. And it's screen. This is very key. Yes, the governor is here. Be careful negotiating media with your children. If there is no plan, you are going to crumble. The communication is clear. Our children know that even if everybody in their class has a phone, everybody that we know, they talk about it. How people are on social media, how they are Snapchat. They say, we don't even know how it is that these things work. I'm like, you guys will be all right. And they are very all right. But no, don't come and say, mommy, if I make all A's, will you give me a phone? Hey, like how? Don't make all A's now, my dear. Please, make all F's. By all means. I'm not one of those people that walk the hall of shame of a child feeling, by the way. The others already have heard me say this over and again. I'm not obsessed. I came out of my class. So I'm not one of those parents that your success is tied to your child's success. I'm not one of you. I'm already, if it's school, I've gone to school, my own. So go and do your own. Very important. Now, there's also hyper focus on when to return the device. 10 p.m. You did not return. Hey, somebody's asking me without what about using vacation for good behavior or gift for getting honor roll in school is an error. Please start this class from the beginning, man, if you're just coming in. Thank you. Now, the behavior didn't change because the child became addicted. It changed because meaning was attached. So it's not just addiction, it's also the change of meaning. Now, this is why sneaky behavior shows up. When screens are taken away as punishment, the child brain doesn't learn responsibility. It learns protection. Let me tell you how. Now, the internal logic becomes, I must keep access to what feels valuable. That's why a child will sneak to a device, lie about usage, hide their screen, watch secretly. That is not just a character flaw. It's a predictable response to scarcity and control. The moment you create scarcity and control, the child will sneak, the child will lie, the child will hide, the child will watch secretly. That is what the response to scarcity and control does. On any front. Do it with food, you get the same result. Now, why is worse with screen is that it's a high-level dopamine tool. That's why it's worse. Now, this is why tantrums escalate. For a child at that age, losing a screen can feel like losing comfort, losing control, losing emotional regulation. So when that loss is sudden and emotionally charged, the nervous system moves from fight to flight. So tantrums are not manipulations, they are dysregulations. So the punishment backfires because the child's stress increases, learning shuts down, power struggle replaces cooperation. Now, here is what you need to do. The person that is asking how do we encourage a child to do better, please listen to the other parts, okay? Keep the screen time predictable and scheduled. Remove screens from emotional discipline. Address behavior with conversations, repair, natural consequences. When screens are no longer scarce and are no longer emotional weapons, children stop chasing them. Did you hear me? Let me say that again. When screens are no longer scarce or they are no longer emotional weapons, children stop chasing them. They learn that screens are part of life, not the center of it. That's your goal. That's your goal. For your children to learn not to chase screen, Stop creating the dependency. Stop creating that scarcity. Your children will continue to chase it if you continue to do that. Is somebody getting my drift? Can you know, when it comes to emotional intelligence, one of the things that you must understand is that when you create this system of not being able to create that, I'm going to take this deeper at the becoming an emotionally intelligent parent course, right? The flyer is on my screen. I'm sure that's a course for March. The communication course is for next tomorrow. The emotional intelligence course is for March. Register for both. They are both important to you, all right? And this is very, very important. Now, I'm going to share with you what should work instead, all right? What should work instead? Okay, what should work instead? Can we get the flyers, please? What should work instead? And all of the things that you need to do. So when you remove screen from reward and punishment, it's not about being permissive. It's about being intentional. It's the intentionality that we're talking about. The intentionality. So I'm going to be sharing with you what you do to build self-control, build responsibility, and and emotional maturity. The website or the link to register for both, if you look at, I'm sure that the team will drop the details, all right? The EI course flyer is right on my screen. The link for the both will be in the comment section. I'm sure that the team will do that now, okay? Now, what you're talking about, somebody said, now I get it. Why coach says that Tuesday life is for yadas. Yes, actually, you get deeper understanding. If you are in the yard and you're listening to me, there's an understanding you have where, out of way, as in your understanding is a lot different, really. I can assure you, really. But as you take these courses, your mind is going to improve. All right, this is going to improve. I'm going to share a lot correlation of screen and regulation of EI and all of that. That's where the course topic is actually centered on the EI course. There's a lot to share. I really wish that I have a lot of time to share. You hear me talking about a lot of things, right? And then you are listening to the things that I'm saying, and you're wondering, okay, this I just get in here. It's because there's so much to learn, and I'm trying to put a lot in perspective. Truth be told, the Tuesday life without a system will not help you. That's the truth. So you need to get into these courses so that you can actually be able to fit them in. The more that you learn in these courses, the more that this Tuesday life makes sense to you. See, most of the times you find out that we do the Tuesday life, it sounds like jargon, like this Tuesday live, they've got this and they're saying, it sounds like, but if you are in a, especially for instance, parents in the inner circle are hearing what you're not hearing. And that's honestly, that's not us trying to prepare you. That's the truth. There are things they hear, the way they hear it, because there is a system for them. All right. And when you begin to take these courses, you begin to also hear differently. The light is completely different. Completely. So if you're listening to me, you're just a first timer here. If you're a first timer, let me see your comment in the comment section. Get books. Get to register for these courses. Get into the academy and become active. Let your system of being active actually be ignited in the whole thing. All right, so that you can begin to fit it in. This is absolutely very important. Okay, this is absolutely very important. Now let's go. All right, so I encourage you, get into these classes, register. I can see people saying first timer. Are you a first timer? I didn't even work on, where is Cathedral Prefect, please? That's how we just went into this class. The class was too important to me. Cathedral Prefect, are you here? Dr. Happiness is working. First time. Run into your page on Facebook today. Oh, wow. That's so awesome. It's so good to have you here. Like I said, right, you need to get into the system to get you to actually begin to help. Now, let me share something that you can do today. Stay on. We have a few minutes to go. Ensure that you're inviting somebody even till now. Because what I'm about to drop is going to be, fire. Number one, this is the part of to do. All I've shared with you have been the issues, the troubles, the everything. Dr. Happiness, please welcome your cathedral members. When you remove screens from reward and punishment, right, you need to now become intentional. Now, natural consequences, not emotional punishment. Natural consequences teach cause and effect without shame or power struggle. So instead of you spilled the juice, no tablet. You try the juice spilled, you need to clean it up. Now, this is why this works. The brain links action to its real outcome. A child learns responsibility, not fear. The child learns that there's no emotional hijacking, so learning stays intact. Now, natural consequences build logic and accountability. Remember that I said earlier, now you don't build accountability by creating scarcity or control. That's a wrong way to do it. If you do it, it always backfires. So there's, core emotional skills, logic and accountability. Number 2, guided screen use. You now begin to use screen as a tool, not a currency. All right? As a tool, not a currency. Children are not born knowing how to use screens well. No, you are the one. So they must be taught, just like food, just like sleep, just like money. So you need to teach your children guided screen use. What does that mean? Clear schedules, clear purpose. That means learning, relaxation, and creativity. These are the 3 things. Then clear ending. No emotional drama. Don't create a system where your children will not know how to end. Now, example, screens are to, for after homework and chores, for instance. When the time is off, turn it off. Why are you negotiating? Do you know why it works? Because screens now become predictable and boring. And then screens, you need to make screens boring. They are not the center of their lives. Then screen now become, obsession now reduces. Now, children practice self-regulation in a safer structure. That's what emotional regulation training is about. Not controlling them. Now, or you just say, please, now, mommy, just 2 minutes, 2 minutes. You wait. Let's just finish the show. I just allow them finish the show. If the system could, this is, so you're not watching an endless program. Now, that's the difference with having a media plan. You are watching a particular thing. Okay, this documentary is 2 hours. When 2 hours is done, it's done. It's not endless. It's not unpredictable. Once you make screen unpredictable, obsession gets in. So screen becomes predictable, obsession reduces, children begin to practice self-regulation. And then number 3, emotional coaching. You address the behavior, you're not addressing the device. Somebody help me put that in the comment section. Address the behavior, not the device. Behavior is communication. When a child misbehaves, they don't need a screen removed. Are you getting me? You don't need to take your remote control to work. You don't need to lock out your what's it called, PS5. In my home, there are all kinds of gadgets. Oculus, virtual reality, name it. I've had a virtual reality even when people didn't know what it was. Name it, right? All manner of gadgets. I love tech myself. But it's never something that is removed. Oh, you are not going to watch TV. Why? They need understanding and guidance. You took the juice, no TV. Why? What's the correlation? You went to my fridge. You took that juice. You didn't do your chores. You took that juice. I shut it down. You take remotes. You put it in. You even hide it to the point that you're not looking for it. Hello. You're addressing the device. Wait till the device does not learn anything. You are the one that needs to learn. Now, why not say, I noticed that you took the juice, and that is not okay. So let it be about the juice, the child. The child will need to apologize, replace what was taken, reflect on a better choice, because the child needs to learn empathy. They need to practice repair. They need to build moral reasoning. Moral reasoning. And they need to, this is the heart of emotional intelligence. What this approach raises children who can think for themselves. You don't want a child who cannot think for themselves. I read a story, today, about a particular, character in the Bible. I'm going to share it with the others on Thursday. I'm going to share it in that class. So, of course, if you're getting into this class, Parenting Communication Made Easy, all right, we made an offer today, 8999. This is the price. It goes back at 12 midnight today. This 8999 instead of this 10999. Believe you me, this cost last year was 2500. So it's been on this. So after tonight, it goes back to 2999 for the price. If you're tired of screen battles, if you're tired of repeating yourself, if you're tired of doing all of this punishment, escalating behavior, using reward, using punishment, and all of that, if you're really tired, then you need emotional intelligence. You don't need more discipline tools. You don't need more mpiampera. And if you're not Igbo Makawai, that's like a core our mama language. If you're from our indicates, let me see if I have a brother in the building. Our sister, come on now. But hey, it's King. That's what we call King in my local dialect. I love being Igbo. Like, really? Yes, I love it. And when I said, my children go like, duh, yes. But really, you don't need more Kings, right? You don't need more Kings. You don't need more, things. Let me teach you. Some people buy the book. Discipline is not an emergency. And the only reason they buy this book is because they want to let me learn that thing that I'm going to do. So that, discipline is not an emergency. It's going to teach you a lot. All right? Connect to correct. Discipline that works. From yelling to calm. The Calm Parent Framework. These are all my books that are available on Amazon. And you can also get them. All right? Somebody said, "Go, Tani, please come, let me give you an Igbo husband." What are you talking about? Honestly speaking, I somehow at some point forgot that this is not the yard, but it's okay. All right. So I want you to understand that becoming emotionally intelligent is going to teach you how to correct behavior without all these power struggles, all these, I just want to have been removing the device, I'll punish them, I'll remove it. It's not a tool. See, that's what people tell you to do. When you go online, you say parent coach, they will tell you, once a child does something, remove the device. Just remove it. Somebody was asking me, they have a child who is autistic, and then was asking me a question about, the child having, issues and all of that. The first thing you want to do is take away the device, not as punishment, but as your goal to be able to remove that dependency. So you're not punishing the child with it. So don't call your children, today you will not have access to this. I will deal with you. Why are you dealing with them? What's the problem? With the screen? So you are making so much emphasis. Danny, I love it. So you're making so much emphasis on this screen. Come and learn what to do. Are you serious? That's so good. Come and learn what to do. And it's so important to be here. All right? You need to learn. You need to. The book of review next month is Discipline is Not an Emergency. Discipline that works. All right? So at least I'm sure that you're going away from this webinar with at least one thing that you're supposed to do with it. All right, you're supposed to do today. It's very important. If you have a television in your room, start from there. Start by taking away that television. We think is a sign of having money in this part of the world. Well, TV is everywhere. Please start from there and just start working it out. Get our books. I have this raising series, Raising the Social Genius. You helped me talk about it today. Raising the independent thinking child, raising the girl with sense, raising the trophy child, raising the lifelong learner, raising the boy you don't need to bail out, raising the emotionally skilled child. All right, one of my best friends said, my best girl says that this is her best book. All right, a lot of people actually, if you've struggled with emotions and all of that, that will be the book that you want to read. We just finished reading this book. Please, if you're a parent on this stream, I beg of you, if you don't have a copy of this book, go and get it. You see this book? That's where you need to start from. It's on Amazon. It's as e-copy on Seller. It's available as hard copy with our distributors. Just reach out to this number. You see this book? You need to sit with it. I don't know what this book did to all of us, including myself in the year this year. Yesterday was our last review of this book. This book, The Parenting Reset, is indeed a reset. If you are thinking of where to start here. When you start here, something in your brain will recalibrate, and you need it, right? You need it. This is very, very important. Parenting Reset, it is indeed a life manual. Please get it. I love the parenting series. Call them the parenting series, Parenting Reset, the Parenting Advantage, and then Parenting Lessons from the Bible. All right, the parenting series. We're going to have one more this year of the parenting series. And of course, we have the sex conversation book, Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, volume 1, 2, 3, and then Walking Your Child Through Puberty. There's so much to read. And if you're not reading, you're dying. Trust me. I say that to Yadas all the time. Okay? And of course, we have others. Solving family problems through effective communication. Part of what I'm going to be teaching you, all right, on communication, it's also just a few. It's also here, all right? Resolving sibling rivalry, how to love your child more. And last year, these parents in the inner circle made me write this book. I finished teaching this class, and they said to me, Coach, you see this book, you must write it and you must print it. I don't understand. What kind of trouble is this? So, of course, I wrote your family plan for godly dating, courtship, and marriage. You see this thing that a child is ready to marry, you're asking the child, have you not brought somebody? What does that mean? When the child was 10, you didn't start the process. Anyways, then parenting launch plan. These are about manual. If you know what a child is going to get to, it's our manual like this. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an awesome time. Trust me, you need to register for this class, all right? Communication class, parenting communication made easy, starts on Thursday and Friday. If you are not in the inner circle, this is your chance to see exactly what the inner circle is about. Details to register for this class is right on my screen, all right? Details to this EI on my screen, team. Details to register for this class is right on my screen. You just register and get in there for Thursday, all right? Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday is the class, date, okay? And of course, this is the communication made easy. And if you're Yada, bring somebody you're gonna save, because we need to save the world. And if you listen to me for the first time today and you got something, let me see you say yes, yes, yes in 3 slows, and then put the fire emojis if you're Yada. Only Yadas know how to use fire. Fire, yeah. See you guys on Thursday. And yes, remember that the emotional intelligence course is coming up on March. That's March what? March 6th. 2nd to 6th. I love March a lot. March is my birth month. I'm March 10th. All the way. I'm turning 41 this year. You want to know? Yes, I'm that old. Yup, I love it. And yes, that's it. So yes, so we're having the EI course, all right? And if you look at the screen, you're going to see the details to actually register for the EI course and join us. You're paying 20,500 for the EI course, all right? Your details are wrong. You said 15,500, please. Can you correct that? All right, you're paying 20,500, okay, for the EI course, and you're paying for the communication course 8,500 just for today. So if you put everything together, I think you're paying about 30,000 naira, and you will be in both classes if you're not a Yada. If you're a Yada, of course, you know what it is that you need to get. And if you're listening to me, you think that all these things, how am I going to learn it? If you can eat, you can read, and you can learn. And if you can remember it, then you can become. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we did 800, almost 900 people watching live. But hey, promise me that next week, you're bringing more people to save, and we're going to have 2,000 people streaming live, and we will be having an amazing time. See you on Thursday. Please don't miss being here on Thursday. All right, the cathedral is going to catch fire. Yeah, are you ready? See you guys, and have an amazing, amazing time to be